Hello, today I'm joined by my guest, Bradley from SMS Speedway. Bradley, how are you doing, my friend?
Hi, David. Very well, thanks. Yourself?
Yeah, really well, thank you. Your ears must be burning because yesterday I ended up having a lot of conversations about WhatsApp and how people use it, namely because I bumped into an agent that had come back from Australia where he'd recently been at the AREC conference, and he's spoken to lots and lots of different agents, and getting your message across or communicating with the clientele in a method that they feel most comfortable with really is the key to everything that they're doing out there at the moment, but particularly WhatsApp. And I think most of us are familiar with WhatsApp for business or the ramifications of how you can use it. But what you want to talk to us about today is slightly different, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. And it's interesting you say that you're talking from, Antipodean extracts. The Australians and the Americans are definitely leading the way on these sort of new platforms and this new messaging. Interesting fact, 65% of the adults, well, 16 plus in the UK use WhatsApp, and around 30 to 35% use Facebook Messenger, which means that Facebook, or Meta as we need to call them now, control the majority of messaging that's happening in the UK outside of the SMS domain. I mean, the SMS obviously shifts loads of volumes, but we are definitely seeing the way that they're doing things overseas starting to become ever more popular here. And obviously, when it comes to WhatsApp, they have very specific business advantages. Facebook's putting a lot of R&D. I'll continue to call it Facebook rather than Meta. It's just an old habit.
We know.
So they're putting a lot of R&D. They're putting a lot of effort into making it as useful as possible for business, and there are some key features that they've enabled for proper business users that are not available on the personal edition. Very exciting. It's a fantastic time to be looking at this because obviously, you know, the innovation's pouring in there, and I'm absolutely delighted to say that we managed to get through all the vetting process. We are approved by them. We do have native access to some of these more advanced features, and that's what I was hoping to discuss today.
But yeah, fantastic. I mean, we always ask you to fill in these forms, and it's not just because we like to put you through your administrative paces, but they've got some great stats on here as well. One of which surprised me. You're reporting that every month, roughly about 7,000 people attempt to connect with your clients via WhatsApp. I mean, we're talking serious volume now, aren't we?
Yeah, they do, David. Now, just to clarify, that 7,000 isn't people we're in conversation with. That is 7,000 people who are trying speculatively on WhatsApp to get hold of a particular agent or a particular person that they've been talking to. So they're just giving it a go to see if they can find it, because obviously with our two-way messaging with SMS, you've got the gateway numbers, so it appears to come from a mobile phone to the recipients, and they're having a normal conversation. Obviously, it's a very high-end telecoms capability that we've got backing that, but from the recipient's point of view, they are just having a conversation with the negotiator, you know, Sarah or Jane or Peter or Paul in you know, whatever agency branch it is, and it's a smooth, it's an easy conversation with them to have, so it feels like they have this one-to-one conversation. They're not aware of all the big IT that's sort of backing it behind the scenes, and that's what we work hard at doing, is to make it disappear into the background so people are talking to people, and these people are saying, hey, you know what, I'm going to try and WhatsApp Paul or Peter or Jane, you know, on that same number. And we are seeing around 7,000 people every month, new people are doing that. So there's a tremendous demand for using WhatsApp. It's definitely a platform that customers want to engage on. And what we're saying to agents is talk to people on the platform that they want to use. You know, if they want to talk SMS, fine, talk SMS. If they want to talk on WhatsApp, fine. Talk on WhatsApp. You know, at the end of the day, when you're trying to drive your business, when you're trying to close that deal, when you're trying to arrange a viewing, whatever it is, you know, get conveyancing through to the completion and the exchange, it's people talking to people that matter. How they talk should not be an issue. And what we at SMS Speedway do is we make sure that we follow people on whatever platform they're doing. If they're talking on SMS, we'll do it. We'll automatically switch over to WhatsApp if they're trying to talk to you on WhatsApp, and we'll handle that automatically in the background. You as an agent, you're just trying to communicate like you normally do through your CRM or through the website if you use it on our website. However you are communicating with that person, it's invisible to you how that person that you're talking to actually is talking to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it might be on WhatsApp, it could be on SMS, could be on Facebook Messenger, or any of the other channels that SMS Speedway supports.
So talk to us about some of the features then that this method of communicating via WhatsApp perhaps is substantially different from the way that I use it personally, let's say.
Well, when you're using things personally, you've got things like you can send an image, or you know, you sort of send a text. Some people send voice and video. Now, all of those features that you as a person have is available through WhatsApp Business that we run. So we need to just draw a distinction between WhatsApp Business and WhatsApp for Business. We'll come to that in a minute. In addition to being able to send your voice and your video and your images and everything else, SMS Speedway have the ability to send bespoke stickers. In fact, we can create these bespoke stickers for you, and we have staff in-house who can help design, or if you've got your own designers, we can upload them. So you can have customized sticker packs that you're able to send across. Now, what's a sticker? A sticker is a image that appears on the screen rather like an emoji that could say something useful. Now, what we're encouraging agents to do is use that capability effectively. So, you know, if a sale's agreed, you can have a transaction agreed sticker, or you know, if it's a we'll get back to you, you can have a we'll get back to you. It makes it a bit more personal. So you've got bespoke stickers, but more excitingly, more importantly, is we've got the ability to do things like have action buttons. So if there's a house that you doing a property match for, then we can send the images, we can send the text, you know, how much, what's the asking prices, the bedrooms, all of that standard stuff, and then a button. Are you interested? Would you like a callback? Yes or no? And they can actually click it on the screen, and within WhatsApp, straight then and there, yes, I'm interested, and it will come all the way back to you as the negotiator saying, this particular person has said yes, they're interested. In addition to that, we've got the ability to have lists. Now, lists are something that no one's seen through personal WhatsApp, but you can click on a list and you can get itemized information underneath. So, for example, you can say bedrooms, and then you can click on bedrooms and give the number of bedrooms and the breakdown, the dimensions of the property or property spec. You know, you can have categories of things about a property or about your service, about us as an estate agent, and then you can click on it and it gives information.
And you can have a sort of a, as I understand it, an inventory, a catalog effectively, where you could put all your listings on there. Somebody clicks that, it almost looks like a marketplace button at the top. They click on that and it comes up. These are all the properties that David is currently looking after. And you click on them for further info, and then you've got calls to action, haven't you, after that? Which is
you absolutely have, yes. Yeah. So the bottom line is that we're able to present properties properly and beautifully on WhatsApp in a way that you simply cannot do using, for example, the WhatsApp for Business, which is really just Facebook saying that for one-to-one communications, you can use personal WhatsApp, or else using personal direct WhatsApp. Of course, the other big advantage that I have to mention up front is that when we've got these proper business WhatsApp services running, you don't have the communication coming personally to someone on their personal mobiles. So that gives protection against harassment, which unfortunately is something you have to think about. GDPR, data compliance, you know, people having personal information on their phones that they shouldn't have, that the person hasn't given authorization for. And of course, the risk of people transferring, walking out, something happening to them, lost phones, all of those risks of personal devices, you don't have that. And in addition to that, obviously all your full integrations with your CRMs are drop-in compatible. So push to journal and some of the CRMs, some of the others, triggered messages, automated reminders, those kind of things, those automations that we build for clients in the back end that they know and love so well on the SMS part, we actually now automatically can switch on for the WhatsApp service as well.
And it's a big question. Does it support things like WhatsApp groups where you've got a number of people added to perhaps one kind of group? You could use it for managing sales, for argument's sake. Lots of agents try to. Is that enabled for that?
Absolutely. Straight out the box, WhatsApp themselves don't offer the group facility on the business, but SMS Speedway's technology enables it through our technology. So we've added that missing feature that you won't get anywhere else on the business service through WhatsApp.
Fantastic.
Yeah, and we've got extensions to those as well that probably we'll have to cover, when inquiries come in, rather than we give a menu list of everything that we do. But
that is superb, because I know so many people are using it for transaction management, just keeping people up to date. It's so important in our business, really, when it gets to sales progression, keeping in touch with people, taking that temperature, making sure that everybody is still communicating, everyone's still responding, everyone feels included. Big thing, because we can assume that people know what's going on. We can assume that solicitors are informing them, maybe even another agent further down the line is. But what we've learned is we need to kind of focus on us providing that information so that we're in control of that end of the transaction. And so I think it's the real kind of secret source of good sales progression. And WhatsApp groups, I think, are here to stay with that.
Absolutely, David. And of course, all the other automations around nurturing and helping to drive, the transactions through to completion and exchange, automatically being able to respond back to clients 24/7 around the clock, with some of our AI conversation tools, all of that comes ready to go with the WhatsApp business service that we run as well. You won't find that in your out the box from Facebook service, but SMS Speedway have added all of these additional tools and facilities on top of your communication to keep your shop window open 24/7. If you need to hand off to perhaps a out of hours call center who are wanting to talk to the clients, or if a negotiator during business hours is out doing a viewing and needs to hand off to a colleague, we can handle that handoff, we can handle that escalation. If someone hasn't had an answer back within a few minutes or whatever, we can escalate it for them as well. All of those automated features that are essential to nurturing your relationship with customers are ready to go as you've got to know them with the SMS service, so it's on the WhatsApp.
So I'm going to mention the dreaded GDPR issue. Obviously, that governs how we communicate, what is considered legitimate contact. There must be sort of inherent issues with using WhatsApp to communicate with people on an unsolicited basis, but how do we manage the GDPR situation?
I'm really glad you asked that, because obviously GDPR is central to what agencies need to be aware of, and this whole business again of having personal phones and unsolicited communication is a very big red flag, in addition to all the safety concerns as we mentioned before. When you opt in, first of all, when a client makes communication, SMS Speedway will automatically handle that opt-in for you. And just as with our SMS service, if people opt out, we will automatically opt out for you. So that side of it, the permission to use their details, we will automatically handle. We can also propagate that through to the CRMs, automate for you if required. And of course, all of our service is fully GDPR compliant. We stick to the EU and the UK laws. And if you're operating in other territories, we stick to the laws in those territories as well. As far as UK customers go, you've got the comfort that we don't store the personal details ourselves, so it's personally compliant. It remains within the CRM, it remains within that secure environment, and with the authorization for use of those details, which is at the heart of GDPR. And because we offer this facility where you're using the business WhatsApp, it's not a direct number to individuals. It remains within that protected environment. So it ticks those boxes for you. If you want any further information around compliance, we have a staff member within Speedway whose job is just compliance.
Just compliance.
Give us a call. Give us a call. We will answer your questions for you.
Yeah, it sounds superb, and it's something which, let's face it, it's the future of communication, really. If I can do something via a chat or a message that avoids having to have that conversation, even though I'm an old-fashioned girl at heart and I love a good telephone call, the truth is, if it was submitting an offer or arranging a viewing or whatever it may be, I'd be quite happy to do that from the comfort of my mobile phone at a time that suits me.
People prefer it, David, and also it's much more than just that conversation. It's being able to, for example, receive a document and sign it off with a little bit of a plug here, our integration with DocuSign, and other things like that, being able to upload images of the leaky boiler that you want, or perhaps receive an extra image of the garden that might not have been given to you in the first place, or there's a wide range of other uses as well that are far more convenient through the messaging platform. There's always a place for voice calls, obviously, but that one-to-one instant communication, and the big thing is people are busy. The people who can buy houses, who can rent houses, they have jobs, they have lives. It's not always convenient to take a phone call as and when the agent needs to communicate, or the vendors, wishing to provide an update. People want it in their pockets, and then they can pick that communication up when it suits them, when the child's not screaming and the shopping's in the back of the car, or they're on lunch break or out of hours. Yeah. Most of the traffic we see coming back from customers who are talking to agents actually happen outside of office hours, because when people are at home and they've had their dinner and they've watched their news catch up on television, that's when they'll say, right, now about that property I was looking at, and they'll communicate back. That's the value of this, of doing this message-based communication.
So if I'm not currently using it at the moment, and I might not even be a customer of yours at the moment, and I want to get involved and I want to start to use this, how simple is it for me to get up and running with it? What's the process?
It's incredibly easy. If you are a customer and you've got our text messaging service, you simply instruct us to turn on the WhatsApp channel and we'll turn it on. You've got nothing else to do your side. You just obviously need to instruct us, because we can't willy-nilly turn things on. It does require two-way messaging, because by nature, WhatsApp is two-way. Most of our clients are two-way messaging clients anyway. We'll have that conversation with you if it happens that you're not. If you're not a customer and you don't have our existing SMS setup, we'll welcome you on board with SMS Speedway. It's very quick and simple. Just get hold of us either on the website or through the telephone line, or send us an email to support@smsspeedway.com, and we'll be able to get you up and running very, very quick and easy. You can use it through our website if you haven't got a CRM that's already integrated with us, but we are integrated with all the best CRMs available in the UK.
Now, I know that you guys, I mean, this is one of the things about you. You play well with others. You do make an effort to integrate, and very much you're enabling those systems to communicate or to stretch that communication a lot further, and it almost completes that cycle of communication that we have within an average estate agent business. So I think that's superb, and it's always gratefully received by the agents. For years we lived in this wilderness that nothing we used communicated with anything else that we used.
Exactly.
And it's lovely to be living in the golden age of integration right now. And I know that you guys understand that a lot more than others, so really appreciate it.
Yeah, it really is a good time to be alive. I have to say, it's exciting that we can do so much with so little of our time. And the key to it is each person who's in that communication stream can do it when they've got the time, when they're able to communicate. It's no longer that you all have to be together at the same time, at the same place, around a table, or posting letters, or having to have phone calls where both parties are available. People can fit their communication in with what they're doing in the rest of their lives, and it makes it so much more convenient and efficient, and you can get so much more as well. You can get your pictures, your voice, your videos, whatever it is, your documents. It's just so easy now at a click of a button. It's just
and the key to it is it's personal. It feels more personal than email. Email has become very much like a stack of posts nobody really wants to open anymore sometimes, unless there's something specific that you're waiting for. It's not your go-to. But SMS, WhatsApp, it's right here because it's personal to me. I don't leave home without it. I'm constantly checking it. So, and I know that so many other people are as well. And my clients, my vendors, the people that will be buying properties, I know that that's a space that they're really comfortable with. Very few people, when you say to them, are you on WhatsApp, look at you like you're from a different planet. Everybody uses it, and it has this universal appeal because of the groups and because people communicate en masse with it. It has a very wide spectrum of age ranges as well. So you've got more elderly people using it. The younger people are also still using it. It's not, I suppose, like certain forms of social media where we know that, for instance, TikTok is for the really sort of young crowd, and then maybe one level up from that is Instagram, and then Facebook is already starting to date us, and then LinkedIn is a different crowd altogether. WhatsApp really is all-encompassing.
Across the whole population. Yeah, absolutely. The numbers speak for itself. Like I said earlier, 65% of the British population over 16 use WhatsApp. And that's a staggering number, 65%. You'll walk down the main road and more than every other person is on the platform.
Yeah.
As a business owner, how can you not be taking advantage of that?
It is true. It is true. And there is no better note to end on. Bradley, thank you very much for taking the time to take us through it. It's always a pleasure to speak to you.
It's great speaking to you again, David. Looking forward to our next time.
But Bradley, I need you to just stand up. People need to see what you're wearing today.
Oh, yes.
Okay? Oh, yes, sir.
But I'm especially for you.
Oh, he's the best dressed guest I've had all week.